Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to my channel where I talk about how to heal old trauma and emotional wounds that are trapped in our body, how to create an environment of safety and love so that emotions can or feel safe to come up and be released, and then how to do that whole process of building that in your body so that energy flows freely through it like it's supposed to, how our bodies were designed to do. So my name's Lauren. If you're new to me, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. And so the first thing I want to say is thank you so much to all of you guys who commented last time. I put a video out last week about starting to make unedited videos, and I was so nervous, as you could probably tell, and that was a big step for me, and I didn't expect any of it. You guys really touched me, and I wasn't expecting it, and I just am so grateful. You said some amazing things and things about, YouTube needing more authenticity and rawness, and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I can do that. I can do authenticity, and I just look silly sometimes. So I just wanted to thank you guys for that, because it really, I can't even tell you how much it touched me. So today I'm talking about somatic tools for nervous system regulation, and I'm going to list 12 pretty quickly as I can. Try not to talk too much like I do, but I want to, so I don't want to go in deep into each one, but I just want to list them so that you guys have just a list of tools in one place of what to use on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Not everything on a daily basis, but those options while you're doing emotional processing, processing old emotions that are stuck in our body. But then they're also really useful tools for processing emotions that come up in our daily lives. The thing is, when we have trapped trauma and wounds, the emotions, our activated nervous system can make it so that the emotions that happen in our daily lives are so activating, they just like put us over the edge. So these tools will help us with that too. So why I'm putting this out, so the key here is that nervous system regulation. If you can do that, then you can do emotional regulation. What happens when we have trauma and wounding that is trapped in the body, like ones that are from our early life and really had a foundational impact on how we developed. One of the primary things that happens in the body as a result of unprocessed wounds and trauma is a dysregulated nervous system. A dysregulated nervous system, and a nervous system that is activated all the time. All the time. It's always elevated a little bit, or it's being activated constantly throughout the day. And the problem is, when we become an adult, we don't realize that this is the case because we acclimate to it. We get used to the feeling of having an activated nervous system. But over time, what happens to the body starts not doing very well because we're not supposed to stay in that activated state. It takes its toll on the body. So things start happening. You start getting more and more fatigued. You start needing stimulation more, stimulants more. You crave stimulants. You start craving things. It starts causing other problems. We need tools to regulate. So we use food, we use alcohol, we use drugs, we use social media, scrolling, we use distractions of all kinds. We use staying busy, like becoming a workaholic. All these ways that we distract ourselves because we have to have some way to regulate our nervous system. And what that really means is we don't have the ability to regulate our emotions, and it's because we have trauma that's trapped in our body. It disrupts the whole system. And so in order to heal old emotions and process them fully through our body, we have to be able to regulate our emotions, which means we have to be able to regulate our nervous system. So we get activated and then we can pull it back. We get activated and then we can calm down. Activated, calm down. Activated, calm down. It's like making a rubber band supple again, one that's become really rigid and dry and brittle. it like can snap at any moment. Like you fly into a rage, or you're just irritable. Just like in an instant you can become irritable. That's a sign of a dysregulated nervous system. You're sort of at your edge all the time. Overwhelm's another symptom. Easily overwhelmed. If you can get overwhelmed like that, one excessive thing happens in your life and you're like, overwhelm. No, this is just too much. It's too much. I'm out. I'm done. I'm out. I can't do this. There are also types of collapse. You just like feel this, something happens and you feel your body collapsing. Like the energy is being drained. Your whole system is powering down. It's a collapse response. It's a freeze response. All of these are trauma responses. An old wound is being triggered. An old wound is being poked, but we don't realize because we don't have the suppleness in the rubber band. The rubber band snaps because we're at our limit. So when we're beginning on an emotional healing journey, the most important foundational piece that so many people miss because there isn't enough information out there about this and its importance. This needs to be just widespread knowledge that the focus has to be on the nervous system. You can't start emotional healing when you're already activated all the time, because one trigger will send you over the edge and you get in this spiral state. Energy can't move if your body doesn't feel safe and loved while an energy is coming up. And how can you do that when you're at your limit? Like you don't have any extra there. So what we first need to do is create a foundation of a parasympathetic state, learning what that actually feels like. That can entail a lot of things, cutting out caffeine, like there can be, and just like creating an environment as much as you can of calm. But what I'm really talking about here are the somatic, the body exercises that you can do to help regulate yourself as you learn how to do this. Because we didn't learn, the reason we have an activated nervous system all the time is because when we have trauma, we didn't learn how to self-regulate properly. So we're not self-regulating the way we need to on a daily basis. So now is our opportunity to learn. Now that all these problems have shown up in our lives and we're realizing that we need to do emotional healing, now's our chance to learn how to regulate our nervous system. So the first two, I mentioned I have 12 and I keep looking down because I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget any. These are the ones that I really use on a regular basis while I'm doing emotional healing. So the first step is really to build that foundation, learn what it feels like to live in a parasympathetic state most of the time. Now, as I said, there are other lifestyle tools that you can use and implement, and that can diet, sleep, exercise, all these things. But as for somatic practices, one of the ones is deep breathing. I know you've heard it before. Probably maybe from me, because I talk about it a lot. But the key here is belly breathing. To input a belly breathing practice in your daily existence, so that at some point during your day, you are sending your body into a parasympathetic state. You're creating suppleness in that rubber band by taking it down to a parasympathetic state at least once a day, preferably 2, 3, 4 times a day. If you can get it into your schedule, lay down so that all of your abdominal muscles relax. Some people find it easier sitting up, so whatever works for you. But for me, laying down, because I get a lot of constriction, I tended to get a lot of constriction in my abdomen. So laying down allowed me to relax all those muscles so that I could breathe into my belly. Now, I had to train myself to do this. I couldn't do this at first. I don't know where you are, but one trick to do is to exhale completely every ounce of your breath. And one of the things that's doing is building muscles in your diaphragm to be able to exhale fully, then try to inhale into the belly. Try that a few times. Keep trying to do that. Keep doing it over and over until you can start to get um, air into your belly. It's going deep into your lungs, into your lower lobes, the lower lobes of your lungs. It can take some practice, but you need to build in muscles in that part of your diaphragm to be able to exhale deeply and inhale through the belly, because our muscles change. Our ability to breathe into our stomach changes over the years. And so we can start chest breathing a lot. So belly breathing. And so throughout your day, and on top of just a breathing exercise every day at some point, you want to check in with your breathing. Check in throughout the day. Just check in. Am I belly breathing? Am I chest breathing? If I'm chest breathing, I'm more activated than I realized, and I might need to go and lie down. I might need to stop looking at my screen for a minute and really tune in, come inside. Make sure that you are exhaling in your daily breathing. You want to practice making your exhales as long as possible and your inhales slightly less so. So your exhales are the ones that exhales calm, inhales activate. Exhales calm, inhales activate. So we want to be spending more time exhaling throughout the day than inhaling. The second somatic tool for nervous system regulation is another one that is great to do daily. So these first two are building that foundation of like bringing yourself into a parasympathetic state. You're strengthening, what you're doing is you're strengthening the vagus nerve by bringing yourself into a parasympathetic state. You're strengthening your ability to go into a parasympathetic state, which means strengthening your vagus nerve. If you have a strong vagus nerve, then you have a strong ability to get yourself back into a parasympathetic state. So stretching is a wonderful way to strengthen your vagus nerve. And also yoga. So I do yoga twice a week, and it's been huge for me. It's this thing that brings me back to my body, whether I have been doing a good job in my practice or not. I have to get, that is a time when I'm going back in my body. You can't do yoga and not be in your body. I can't. I don't know if other people can. I don't find that possible. But there are three really sort of yoga poses that are very light and easy to do. They're very relaxing. You can do it at home. I used to do it every night before bed, religiously. So one of the ones is crocodile. If you know that in yoga, you lie on your belly, face down and then you rest your head on your hands, and you can rock your head back and forth and just lay there and breathe. It's really good for the vagus nerve. Another one is laying flat on your back next to a wall and then putting your feet up the wall. You want your feet higher than your heart. And this is really good for your vagus nerve. It's bringing blood to your adrenals. It's bringing blood to your liver. It's bringing blood to all your organs, but and your heart. Your brain, and it's very good for the vagus nerve. Really good. The third one is twists. Those massage your adrenals, your kidneys, and your liver, and both of those have a big role in when you've got fatigue. Those are playing a big role. And if you've got any kind of toxicity in your body, those are really important. You want to this is a really good for just massaging them every day. So you do twists on the floor. You can either do it on the floor lying on your back and then put your knees side to side, or you can do it sitting up and just hold for as long as feels good and switch back and forth. Okay, so those are really good to do every day. Now, then the next three are good for more emotional regulation. Well, or sort of anytime. Anytime you're feeling dysregulated, whether you are in fight or flight, you're in the freeze state, or you're having an emotion come up and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. So the first one is something I talk about all the time. I'm sure you're familiar if you have seen other videos that I've done. It's my favorite. It's havening techniques. My favorite. I love it. It's these soothing strokes. So it's around your orbital bone, around your eye socket, down your arms, and brushing your hands. And you do it as long as it takes to calm yourself down. The more you practice this, the faster the response will become, because you're growing neural pathways there. And then the other one is EFT or tapping. Now, So havening and EFT function the same way. Pull them out anytime you are feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling shame. Those are so good for those two experiences, shame and overwhelm, because those are things that need to be loved and accepted, but moved aside so that you can get to the deeper emotion underneath those things. So havening or EFT, so I don't use it as much. It's been a few years since I actually used it for myself, so I don't remember all the places. But they're on your acupressure points. And it's the same science for both of them. Havening and EFT, or tapping, also called tapping, is that it works the same way. It decouples the emotion from the experience that you're having. And so it's just an exceptional emotional regulation tool. You can pull it out whenever you're just feeling bad. It's a way of just sending safety signals, sending loving signals to your body. And then number 4 is saying sweet things to yourself, saying comforting, sweet things. And you can do this at the same time as you do havening or tapping. And it's just, you're saying, it's okay. I've got you. I've got you. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. I've got you. I've got you. You can say I love you. You can say anything that comes to mind. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I see you. I see your pain. I know you're hurting. Anything that you want to say. Just saying sweet things to yourself. Whether that's hard for you or not, just doing your best to think of anything that's comforting or sweet to say to yourself when you're feeling activated, overwhelmed, or frozen in collapse. The number 5 is hugging yourself. This is kind of similar. It's hugging yourself, just giving yourself a hug. Hugging yourself, stroking yourself anywhere. I really find it comforting sometimes to hold my neck. Hold my neck. Hold my throat. My throat has a lot of wounding. I have a lot of stuff there. And I just find it comforting. It's soothing. It's sweet. It's sweet. So pull these out anytime that you're feeling dysregulated in any capacity. The next 3 are specifically for if you're feeling you're in fight or flight. You're activated and you need to calm down. Again, you can use any of the 3 that I just mentioned. But if you're feeling like you want something else, here are some other tools. One is sensory deprivation, specifically darkness. Get yourself into a dark room, the darkest room you can find, and the quiet. If it's dark and quiet, like really dark, no windows, no light, and quiet, it's going to help calm you down. So you can pull all these things out at once. You just go into a dark room with no sound. You can pull out earplugs. You can pull out an eye mask. And then also havening and saying sweet things to yourself. I've done this. Can't even tell you how many times I've needed to do this, especially in the beginning when I was first learning how to regulate my nervous system. It was so dysregulated and activated. And so, or dysregulated. And so when I would get activated, it's just like frayed was always the word that I felt like all of my nerves were just like these frays. They just like everything, just don't touch me. I'm out of, like I felt out of control. That's when I would use dark room. I needed a dark room, like take away the stimulation because I am overstimulated. This is good to use with when you have overwhelm too. So anytime you're overstimulated, this is a great thing because when your nervous system is activated, your receptors are heightened to look for threat, and they're taking in more, they're receiving more than if you're in a parasympathetic state. So simple stimulation like light and sound will amplify that. So to remove those can help calm. Another one is shaking or vibrating and dancing. So this is, again, if you're in fight or flight. Now, this would be great too if you're in freeze, but I have found I am physically unable to do this when I'm in freeze. So shaking in particular is really good if you're like you had a situation, an interaction, and it's like you have this icky, gross feeling on you, and you just you feel like you need to rip it off. It's like, get off of me. I can't stand this feeling. It's on me. So then you start shaking. You shake your body, you shake your limbs, you shake your legs, you shake your arms, you shake your torso, you throw your arms around in crazy ways. That's one of my favorites, and it looks so silly. And I don't have enough room. I can't do it. But just shake as much and as violently as you need to get that energy off of you. This is really helpful for empaths. I call it the empath shake because we have a tendency to have energy just clamp on and then not be able to dissipate it. And it's because it's like it's getting stuck on your wounds. That's how I think of it. It's like these energies, they have like a magnet to your wounds, and then once they're on your wound, it's like you can't get it off. So you get home from some scenario or you're off of work or something, and you need to shake it off literally. Dancing, turning on music, and vibrating. It's just like that shaking. If you have like one of those vibrating machines, I've always wanted one of those because I think they'd be really useful. But it's really good for moving and dissipating energy. Number 8 is called a physiological sigh. Now, did I say that correctly? Physiological sigh. I personally don't use this very much because I like other tools better, like havening, but I'm going to share it because I know a lot of people like it and have good success with it. So it's a physiological sigh. So what you do is inhale almost to the top, and then a sharp inhale with the rest, and then a long exhale. So you go. Do it a few times and it'll shift your nervous system. You'll start calming down. The next two are specifically for if you are in a freeze state. This is a harder one to work with. It's harder to get out of. It can take more time. And there's no easy way. But a couple of things that I use on a regular basis is temperature regulation, specifically warmth. When I'm in a freeze state, I literally feel cold. I literally feel like that bone cold that is like ice is running through my vessels, through my veins. Coldness is coming from the inside out. It's like my heart is cold, my core is cold. And it's a good sign that I'm in a freeze state and I need intense external heat to help me. And it brings a lot of comfort because what happens when I'm in that freeze state and I feel cold, I feel even more fear and anxiety and just tension, and I'm scared. And it sort of buries me deeper into that state. It pulls me more into that victim state, into the wounded child. But I don't really get close to the wound. It's weird. So, one thing to start warming, like to start moving that energy, is to warm yourself. I use hot water and hot air blowing on you are the things that I've found have worked the best. Or like a hot pad. What am I thinking of? What's it called? You heat it up in the microwave or you plug it in. Electric heater. What am I thinking of? Those pads. A heating pad. A heating pad. Or a heated blanket. Electric blanket. It has to have external heat coming into your body. I have found this so soothing and helpful to deal with and start to move that ice energy, that frozen energy in my body. The other one is groaning and moaning. Sounding. And I did a video with my friend Kayla a while back about this. This has been really helpful. It is really effective at starting the energy to move, because when you're in the free state, you can't access the emotion. It's like it's taking you over. The defense is taking you over, but you can't get to the actual emotion. So start moving that energy, moaning or groaning, and it's usually a low guttural sound, but it's whatever you want. So for me, it's usually it'll get stronger, it'll get weaker, but a lot of times when I do that for a while, I'll start to feel tears. I'll start to feel like an actual emotion. It starts to unfreeze the frozen energy. Those are really key. These are because the freeze state is so hard. It's so hard to get out of. Those are two things that start pushing you in that direction. And then of course havening and or tapping, hugging yourself, saying sweet things. But I find if you're in the freeze state, saying sweet things can be a little dicey because the unconscious is really strong in those moments and it can be angry and a little temperamental. So if you say sweet things to it, it might get, mine gets angry because it's like, that's not true. No, you're wrong. So maybe whispering sweet nothings to yourself, but maybe not, maybe only, if you're in an activated state, and save that for fight or flight response. Now, number 11 is expressing your emotions using that throat chakra. This is a somatic approach because it is using your throat, and this is the place of your authenticity. There's a reason that talk therapy works in a lot of situations. Even though there are some limitations with talk therapy in our current culture, because there's a focus on cognitive behavioral therapy instead of deep trauma-informed therapy, that's shifting, but there is limitation there. But talk therapy in itself is really important because as human beings, we have developed this expressive way to connect. It's a way of connecting our emotions to ourselves, our brains to our emotions, our brains to our body. Our throat is like, look, it's even in the middle between our brains and our body. It's the connecting point. It's where information between the two can stem from. So if you start speaking in a loving presence, whether that's with somebody you know, whether it's somebody in like an emotionally safe person that you know, a friend, a family member, or a therapist, or if you don't have that, journaling or video journaling, you can talk to a camera. I've done that a bunch of times. I did it. I put a video out where I did it. And it brought tears. I was so stuck in the freeze state and it brought up tears. It's amazing. We can go in our minds circles and circles and circles and circles and circles. It's amazing how we can go in there and it doesn't evoke emotion. It actually just stays stuck in there. It just keeps it stuck. And then when we start to speak some things, especially things that we've never spoken, all of a sudden emotion can well up. But it's really important to be in a safe emotional space for that. Like you need to have somebody you trust that's not going to judge you, not going to put you down, not going to invalidate your feelings. It needs to be something somebody that you know will validate you, understand you, be empathic towards you. We need that to bring healing and to bring that emotion out. And then the last one, of course, is releasing emotions. That's through your body. Usually that's crying. It can also be screaming if you're releasing anger and rage, but there are usually tears underneath the anger. And then every once in a while you'll have laughter as a release of emotion. It's like that belly laugh that brings tears to your eyes, and it's just like an aha moment where you've got like a guttural laugh. Those are very rare in my experience, but they do happen. Most of what you're going to be dealing with is tears, crying. And I have a video I'll put a link to on how to cry to heal. Because not all crying is created equal. Not all crying will bring out emotion permanently, will process emotion permanently. You have to have certain things in place to have that happen. So I tried to go through those as quickly as possible so that's not too long, but it was 12 things, so it take some time. But I really hope this is helpful to have those in one place because, again, like I pull out these tools depending on what I need in that moment. Am I activated? Am I frozen? Am I needing love? Like what's going on? What I just feel bad and I don't know what to do with it. You can try all these things and just go through the list and see if any of them do anything. I've done that many times. And so just experiment with them, and maybe you heard something you didn't know or like something that you haven't tried before. But yeah, just try these and see what works for you. I hope that's helpful. It's just so necessary. Again, I just want to reiterate again. So you need somatic tools to do this emotional processing thing. Emotional processing, emotional releasing, emotional healing. You have to have tools, somatic tools, ones that involve your body, that are connecting your body and mind in order to heal, them and process this emotion so that it releases from your body for good. So again, I hope that was helpful. And again, thank you all for your wonderful support, everybody who commented on my last video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you'd like to work one-on-one with me on your emotional healing journey, I love working one-on-one with people. I would love to hear from you. You can go to my website, laurenvorhees.com. I have a button on there that says book a session. I offer a free 30-minute consultation, and there's no pressure to sign up for paid after that. But if you feel like we're a good fit, if I feel like we're a good fit, then we'll proceed from there, and you can pick 60 or 90-minute sessions. You can also email me at lauren.j.voorhees@gmail if you prefer that. But I hope you're doing well out there. I hope you're doing well on your healing journey. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.